he's had a real problem with Elon from the beginning of this thing. But it's like he's in this leftist thought bubble. He is in the most leftist thought bubble available, which is Hollywood. And, and I think also, he famously, there's some videos of him in blackface, and those came out, and he had apologized for them. And I think he took that hit and like really doubled down the other direction.
Did you see it? Joe Rogan torched Jimmy Fallon after Disney lost 1.7 million fans in 7 days. But the bombshell behind that incredible story is how that digital chaos has exposed the biggest weaknesses of the traditional late-night world.
I mean, I struggle to even mention that guy's name. He's such an absolute, I can't stand him. But anyway, it's just my thought bubble out loud. We took a look at some of their reactions to the news of Trump's win. Look at this.
Can a $500 million lawsuit sink a career built on laughter and smiles? Is the entire entertainment industry about to watch a celebrated icon unravel right before their eyes? And why are the most powerful voices in the digital world, like Rogan, so eager to see it happen? This isn't just about ratings. It's a seismic clash now spilling from the comedy stage into the courtroom, threatening the very credibility of a television institution.
Hey there. How are you doing? If you watch the show regularly, I'm guessing you're not doing great. Yeah, me neither.
Let's be honest, it was a terrible night last night. It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants who make this country go. For healthcare, for our climate. It was a terrible night for poor people, for our allies in Ukraine, for NATO.
Whispers from the industry suggest a dramatic fall from grace is imminent, and we have the shocking details of the allegations that are setting Hollywood on fire. The stakes, my friends, couldn't be higher. The source of this seismic clash is the staggering $500 million lawsuit that has allegedly landed on Jimmy Kimmel's desk. Rumors are swirling that this is not merely a legal action, but a strategic public execution meant to destroy his image and his brand. The immense size of the sum involved sends a chilling, unmistakable message. This is war, and the goal is total destruction.
You know how much it costs to produce Jimmy Kimmel's show? I guarantee you it's tens and tens of millions. It could be as much as 100 million. I have no idea. You know how much Tucker's video cost? Nothing. You know how much Jimmy Kimmel, how many people he gets tuning in on an average night? Just last week, his average was, in the overall, meaning all viewers, 1.5 million. In the key demo, 236,000. Tucker would have been embarrassed to pull that on any night he was on the Fox News channel.
Fueling this fire are prominent figures like Joe Rogan and Megyn Kelly, who are reportedly sharpening their rhetorical knives, eager to accelerate Kimmel's downfall. This unprecedented legal assault has everyone asking, who has the power and motive to launch such an attack, and why are these digital powerhouses openly celebrating the crisis? The answers, as we'll reveal, lead directly back to a dark chapter he desperately wants buried. The prevailing narrative, according to some of the most outspoken commentators, suggests that Kimmel is a comedian caught in a desperate balancing act. There are whispers that his fervent, highly vocal political stance, particularly his criticism of Donald Trump, is not a pure, genuine conviction. Some argue it's a strategic overcorrection, a dramatic and performative pivot designed to aggressively distance himself from the shameful fallout of those deeply uncomfortable, cringeworthy videos of him in blackface. Did the immense public pressure from those resurfaced incidents force him to adopt this intensely political persona?
There's not a chance in hell that this is funny or gonna work. And when you see those flat, corny, late-night monologue jokes with no audience, Colbert, there's Jimmy Kimmel, there's Fallon. What they're doing is just like reading off of a teleprompter. So a bunch of really good joke writers wrote them some stuff, and then they're playing to the audience, and the audience is like laughing, so they get this feedback, and they know how to do that. They stand there, and there's applause signs, and then there's producers. There's the warm-up guy that's literally telling people to applaud. They're like, okay, explaining to the people, okay, when Jimmy comes out, I want a big round of applause. Let's practice this right now.
This question cuts to the core authenticity of his current identity and is central to the argument that his brand is a lie. Joe Rogan, known for his blunt and often controversial opinions, has reportedly been merciless in his assessment of Kimmel's predicament. His highly publicized take is that Kimmel's late-night empire, once thought unshakable, is allegedly built on a foundation of soft, unoriginal comedy. Rogan's observations, which have sent shockwaves through social media, claim Kimmel's monologue jokes are merely recycled material, polished by a large team and delivered to a studio audience coached for a predictable response. This, Rogan asserts, is not raw, genuine humor. It's a manufactured product designed for uncritical mass appeal. This critique of his craft is an existential threat, questioning the very skill that made him famous. The question is, how do you fight back when your comedy itself is called a fabrication?
Horrified after yours truly said in 2018 that people used to don dark makeup in order to imitate well-known Black celebrities and it wasn't a big deal. Absolutely ate up the performance by Hollywood darling Mr. Kimmel, whose blackface costumes included his oft-repeated bit as basketball star Karl Malone.
The numbers behind the scenes only compound the crisis. Industry insiders scrutinizing the situation paint a truly bleak picture for Kimmel's long-term viability. While his traditional TV show reportedly pulls in an average of 1.5 million viewers, a respectable figure for broadcast television, it pales in comparison to the digital juggernauts. Think about a powerful figure like Tucker Carlson, operating from a non-traditional platform who can rack up tens of millions of views on a single video. This shocking contrast highlights a critical, terrifying shift in media consumption. Does Kimmel's heavy reliance on a free, widely available network signal a dying business model, a relic of a bygone era that simply can't compete with the raw, untamed power of the internet? The vast chasm between these numbers is more than a statistic. It's a commentary on his fading influence. What truly compounds the mounting pressure is the profound sense of karmic irony. Joe Rogan, with his signature mix of humor and bluntness, has repeatedly and publicly pointed out the sheer audacity of the situation. Here is Jimmy Kimmel, a man who built a substantial part of his career by publicly mocking celebrities and political figures, now finding himself firmly in the crosshairs of a $500 million lawsuit. The tables, it seems, have turned in spectacular fashion. How must it feel, Rogan reportedly muses, to be the one suddenly under this intense attack, to be the subject of a relentless, worldwide public dissection? The man who once delivered the punchlines is now, by all accounts, becoming the punchline himself. This dramatic, public reversal of fortune is an unavoidable theme in the escalating emotional narrative, and it gives his critics a moral high ground they didn't have before. Adding another layer of scathing surgical commentary to this scandal is Megyn Kelly, whose reputation for deconstructing public figures is well known. Kelly reportedly hasn't held back, describing Kimmel as little more than a corporate-approved shell of a comic. Her argument is particularly damning that the edgy, boundary-pushing comedian from his Man Show days has long since vanished, replaced by a polished, predictable persona. She paints a picture of a performer whose political outrage seems less like genuine conviction and more like desperation, a carefully cultivated image designed for mass, uncritical appeal. This full frontal assault on his authenticity questions the very integrity of his brand. Can he ever reclaim the trust he has lost? Or is the loss of authenticity a fatal wound that can't be healed in the age of instant digital scrutiny? The lawsuit itself, more than just a legal document, is being framed by Rogan as a potent form of psychological warfare. Rogan has reportedly suggested that the immense financial demand is designed not just to secure a victory in court, but to fundamentally alter Kimmel's state of mind and cripple his focus. Imagine the constant anxiety, the pervasive pressure, knowing that every single joke, every political barb could potentially add to an already astronomical legal burden. It's a strategic move, designed to make Kimmel flinch at every Trump joke and allegedly lose sleep over every monologue. This isn't about winning a judgment, it's about owning his headspace, about instilling a pervasive sense of fear and self-censorship in the man who once feared nothing. The battle is now being fought inside Kimmel's own mind, and his critics are dictating the terms. The image that truly resonates, the one that has Rogan reportedly howling with laughter, is the thought of Kimmel frantically scrambling to erase his old blackface skits from the internet while simultaneously engaging a team of high-powered lawyers. It's a vivid, almost cinematic scene of panic. reminiscent of a school kid desperately wiping a chalkboard clean before the principal storms in. This frantic damage control, whether true or exaggerated for dramatic effect, speaks volumes about his priorities. It highlights the perceived hypocrisy, the glaring contrast between Kimmel's past actions and his current self-proclaimed moral high ground. This powerful visual of a man under siege is central to the unfolding crisis, and it raises a critical question. What other incriminating evidence is Kimmel currently attempting to hide from the public eye that could explode this entire narrative? Ultimately, the devastating consensus among these powerful, outspoken commentators is clear. Jimmy Kimmel's career, as we know it, is in serious jeopardy. They don't just see a legal battle, they see a public demolition and unraveling that is far from over. The days of the clever jester lobbing jokes from the castle walls are reportedly gone forever. Instead, Kimmel has, in their view, wandered into the arena, and the lion has finally roared in the form of a $500 million lawsuit. But here's the truly terrifying part, the shocking revelation that promises to keep you hooked. Allegedly, this staggering legal challenge is just the warm-up. What other bombshells await in this unprecedented celebrity crisis? And how will the entertainment world be forever reshaped by this monumental clash? Make sure you hit subscribe because the next chapter promises to be even more explosive.